Hello everyone, welcome back to AeroHub and welcome to the series of lectures in aerospace structures. In the last lecture we discussed how to estimate the shear flow distribution for a thin-walled closed section which is idealized, and in this lecture we'll discuss one of the important concept, that is twist rate of thin-walled structures. Okay, we will discuss this particular topic and we will estimate the twist rate of airframe sections in the upcoming lectures, especially airfoil sections, then multi-cell sections. We will discuss about that in the upcoming lectures. In this lecture, we will derive the equations to find out the twist rate of a thin-walled section which is subjected to a constant shear flow. You can see here the twist rate of a thin-walled structure. In this lecture, we will discuss how to estimate the twist rate using a method called method of constant shear flow. We have lot of method to find out the twist rate of a thin-walled structures, and I am using the method of constant shear flow. As you can see, a thin-walled structure, a thin-walled tube of thickness T, and this structure will be subjected to a torque of capital T, and when the section is subjected to a certain amount of torque, and you can assume that, or you can imagine that this structure will undergo certain amount of twisting. Okay, so there will be distribution of shear stress throughout the beam, throughout this thin-walled beam in this direction or any direction, as you can say. And the main assumption of this theory is we have a constant shear flow throughout the thin-walled beam here. Okay, the main assumption is we are assuming the shear flow is constant. Shear flow Q is a constant here. Okay, now you consider we are considering a small 2D element of length ds, and the height is a unit height, that is the height is 1. Okay, as you can see, when we are subjecting a certain amount of torque load, there will be distribution of shear stress throughout this 2D element. Okay, now from stress strain relation, I can say shear stress tau is proportional to the shear strain gamma. Okay, so I can write tau is equal to a constant G, that is nothing but the shear modulus into the shear strain gamma. This I put as equation number 1. From this equation I can write gamma is equal to, the shear strain is equal to tau by G. Okay, I put as equation number 2. Now we will consider this 2D element here. I have this 2D element, this is the 2D element of length ds, and the height is 1 here and the length is ds. Okay, now because of the application of torque load, this element also will be undergoing certain amount of twist, or this will undergo certain amount of shear strain. So I can draw the element after a certain amount of twisting. This is the final state of twisting. Okay, and this is the length, initial length ds, and this is the changing length delta. Okay, and this is nothing, this angle is nothing but gamma. Okay, this angle is nothing but the gamma, that is the shear strain. Okay, from this figure I can write tan gamma is equal to, from this triangle, tan gamma is equal to delta, that is a cos, divided by 1. Okay, so I can write tan gamma is equal to delta. Okay, I can use this space. Yeah, since the angle is very small, since gamma is small, tan gamma will be equal to gamma. Okay, so I can write gamma is equal to the delta, the deflection, not deflection, change in length. Okay. Now I can write delta from equation 2. I can write delta is equal to tau by g. Okay. Now we have a constant shear flow. Shear flow Q is equal to the shear stress into thickness. Put as equation number 3. From this equation I can write tau is equal to Q by T. Okay. Put as equation number 4. Now I will substitute equation number 4 in equation number this I will put as equation number 2.a. Okay, I will put some number 2.a. Substituting 4 in 2.a. So I will get delta is equal to, instead of tau I will get Q by T. Q is the shear flow and T is the thickness of the thin walled beam. So I will write Q by Tg. This is the value for delta, that is a change in length. I will put as equation number 5. Okay. Now I can write the work done by the shear flow over the length ds. Okay, we have a small element of length ds. You can see we have a small element of length ds. So the work done by the shear flow over the length ds is given by dw. This dw is equal to the shear force. The shear flow is q into the length, that is ds, give the shear force, into the displacement is nothing but delta. Okay, initially we have an element a b c d and it is deflected and displaced at a distance of delta. So this is a displacement delta. So I will include delta. We have equation number 5. Equation number 5 is nothing but delta is equal to Q by T into G. Okay, so I will include dw is equal to Q into ds into Q by Tg. So this will be Q square into ds by Tg. Okay. Now this work dw is equal to, I will put 1 by 2 into Q square ds by Tg, because 1 by 2, since we are applying load gradually. Okay, since we are applying load gradually, that's why I am adding the term 1 by 2. Okay, and also you can imagine, we have, when you plot a graph between, maybe the y-axis is the force and the x-axis is the displacement. When you plot a graph between force and displacement, you can see it will be increasing and it will be maximum, then it will be constant. Okay, so it will be starting from 0, it will reach a maximum. This is the maximum f. Okay, if you take the average will be 0 plus f by 2, it will be f by 2. So I am including 1 by 2. So that is dw is equal to 1 by 2 into Q square ds divided by Tg. And you are aware about work energy principle, that is the work done is equal to the strain energy. Work done will be equal to the strain energy and this will be dw, this I put as equation number 6. Now I can change equation number 6 as du, that is nothing but a small change in strain energy for the element, 1 by 2 into q square ds by dg. Okay. Now we have the equation, that is by Breed-Barthé formula, T is equal to 2 times area into Q. So I can write Q is equal to T by 2A. Equation number, I put this as equation number 7, I put as equation number 8. Now substituting equation number 8 in equation number 7. I'll substitute equation number 8 in equation number 7. So du is equal to 1 by 2 q square, that is t square by 2aq, that will be 4a square into ds divided by dg. Okay, now I'll integrate this equation. I put as equation number 9. So to find out the strain energy for the entire section or entire beam, I have to integrate this. So u will be equal to 1 by 2 t square by 4a square. This g is a constant, g I will take outside, so this will be integral, closed integral, because we have a closed circuit. Now we have a closed structure, ds by t, equation number 10. Okay. Now we have an important theorem, that is called Cauchy-Liouville's theorem by Cauchy-Liouville's second theorem, that is the partial derivative of strain energy with respect to the force gives displacement. This is the Cauchy-Liouville's second theorem. So I will use this theorem to find out the twist rate. So we have partial derivative, that is dou u by the force. We are applying a torque of capital T. So that will be dou u by dou t will be equal to 1 by 2 into 2 times t by 4a square g closed integral ds by t. So I can cut this 2 outside. You can cancel the 2. So you have to understand the partial derivative of strain energy with respect to torque gives the angle of twist. Okay, so we have a circular structure and I am applying a torque, and this point will be moving from torque T. This point is moving from this position to this position after a certain time, and this angle is called angle of twist, the rate of twist theta. Okay, so dou u by dou t is nothing but the rate of twist theta. So theta is equal to t divided by 4a square g integral ds by t. Now we know t is equal to, I put as equation number 11, t is equal to 2aq, theta is equal to, I'll put 2aq divided by 4a square g integral ds by t. Okay, so I can arrive to the final equation. I can cancel out this a, this will be 2, that will be q by 2ag integral ds by t, and this is equation number 12, and this equation is the equation for twist rate, equation of twist rate for thin walled structures. And we will be seeing how to find out the shear flow as well as twist rate in the upcoming lectures, and this is one of the important part for the university exam point of view, because we will be analyzing the shear flow distribution of airfoil sections as well as multi-cell sections using this theory part. That's all about this lecture. Thank you for listening. Take care.